let's get back to you now. So you recently, you're in police foundations, you're working as a security guard on a really dangerous corner, where you're seeing needles and things like that on a regular basis. And then you're doing so well in school that they actually took you to Miami? So tell us about that.
The fan shop program, this is kind of a cool story. My brother went on that same trip.
So you and your brother, but you have to be top of the class, right?
You do, yeah.
So you and your brother have both been top students of fan shop in the police foundations program.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the cool thing is too is that he went with the same teacher that I went with, so we kind of exchanged stories and stuff.
Right.
And it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they take the top students, so you interview for it, and they fly you. Well, you pay for it.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they take you down to Miami,
yeah,
and you get to do ride-alongs with some police agencies down there, and visit a medical examiner which you wouldn't be able to do here.
Right. So did you see any crazy shit?
Not really, man. Like I heard a couple of crazy calls come in. We didn't go into anything that was pretty crazy, but it's a different mentality down there.
So would you say that they're behind in sort of the treatment that you're talking about of people that might be mentally ill or on drugs? Would you say that they still are behind the times, approaching them in all the ways that you feel? Like, how do you feel?
I think they're up. Like the guys that I got to be a part of and go on ride-alongs with. Those guys were up to speed.
Okay.
And like we had to go to a call where this guy was acting up outside of a Walgreens, and he obviously mental health related.
Yeah, sure.
And they dealt with it the similar way that
he probably smoked way too much weed. You hear that, Vinni Chase?
Yeah. They dealt with it as if I would, the same way I would deal with it. So
okay,
they're very same mentality in that regard.
Yeah.
Just their gun balance is
off the charts, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you just have to watch out for, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's great that you're doing this because we're lucky to have someone that's so aware of the potential for people to be mentally ill. I think that in this world, it's almost, at this point in time, better to approach everyone as if there's something, because everyone's got their own shit, right? And I've said it before, I don't think anyone's fully mentally healthy. But I think that at that point in time, someone could be just that close from going off the edge. So if you approach them as though, hey, there might be something wrong, rather than what the fuck's wrong with that guy,
right,
it's a better way to live. It's a better way for everyone, I think.
Yeah. Everyone's so quick to walk by someone on the street, right? You're holding up a sign that says money, you need food, or whatever the case may be. But I'm the type of guy that would stop and be like, hey, man, what's your story?
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious as to how you got there.
Yeah.
Well, especially some of there's some older that are out there on the streets that have
Thanks,
been
Vinni
there for a
Chase.
while.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just
are
saying.
Are you trying to say that there's some regulars kind of?
There's some older guys, they're in London. Yeah, you're regulars, but they're usually older men, right? And so going along with stories and whatnot, you wonder wow, I wonder what that guy's doing.
Sure.
I wonder what his story is, right?
Yeah, I think that everybody gets so preoccupied in the mentality of go, 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 and next task, next, you know what I mean? Instead of just being absorbed in the moment and really thinking about what that person went through, it's like, oh, well, what the fuck do I have to do next? And I'm more, this guy's going to slow me down. It's, there definitely needs to be a mindset shift in that regard for sure. So you just got married last year. Has it been a year yet?
Almost.
Yeah,
when? July.
Okay.
I almost forgot.
Good start. Yeah. Hopefully Robin's passed out. Yeah, she's in bed. Okay. So how's the first year of marriage been?
It's good, man. I mean, obviously we've been together for so long.
Right.
Nothing's really changed.
Sure.
And I feel like that's the way you kind of want it.
Other than the fact that you knocked her out. That's a little bit of a difference, right? Yeah. So were you guys waiting to be married, and then you're just like, okay, if it happens, it happens?
Yeah, I think we wanted to get married first, and she's European, right? So traditionally, they wanted to get married first and then have kids. So yeah, I think we kind of planned it that way, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So was Robin pregnant before the wedding or after the wedding?
No.
Okay, because I know that there's some people in European culture too that will be like, oh shit,
get it done.
I'm pregnant, we gotta get married, right?
No, it was after.
It's not just European culture, but in a lot of cultures.
For sure, yeah.
So because it was very quick after the wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that the conception happened?
No.
Over the honeymoon?
Conception, yeah, conception.
I said that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so over the honeymoon, do you think that?
No, I don't know.
Afterwards?
It was definitely after, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What position were you? No, I'm just kidding. I know I said I'd stay away from the sexual stuff there, but has your sex life, like just honestly, openly, I think that people would be curious when your wife becomes pregnant or after marriage. Was there any kind of shift in your sex life?
Not really, man.
It kind of stayed consistent?
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys that's nervous about hurting the baby?
Kind of.
Kind of.
It is weird, right?
Yeah.
But
sure.
it's all good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't want to get down this road.
Yeah.
He's like, my wife is going to kill me if I go too deep. Well, you kind of did. And yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I wish you nothing but the best with obviously your marriage and with... Do you know the sex?
Girl.
Awesome, man. I got one of those.
Yeah,
They're the best. Have you thought about names?
Yeah, a couple.
What are you thinking?
I'm not
you're not going to
go there.
No, you're going to keep that?
No, there's a couple. We have, we're going to go there. Casey is one. And Peyton.
I like those both. Yeah.
I like Peyton. It's hard, man.
Yeah, it is hard.
We wanted 2 solid ones just in case, when she's born.
Sure.
You're like, it's not Casey. And then you have to have a backup.
Yeah, it's funny because we were just talking about this downstairs, and I was saying, I have a daughter named Natalia, but the next daughter that I had, I thought, I like to name her Shayla. That's kind of the name that I like.
Yeah.
And Vinni Chase, never name my daughter Shayla, blah, 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 right? So we kind of went through this. So Vinni Chase, what is your firstborn daughter's name going to be? Not Shayla.
Not Shayla.
All right.
I'd name her not Shayla before I named her Shayla.
What about a boy?
Yeah, what about a boy?
Boy? Oh god, I honestly haven't even thought about that.
What about Vinni Chase Jr.?
Vinni Chase Jr., yeah.
VCJ, or just BJ.
BJ.
Then rhymes with BJ, it's a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so Matt, you are my business partner for Final Rose Entertainment. So for those of you that don't know, Matt and I are, we have a DJ entertainment company, mainly for weddings and events. But the reason I chose to go with Matt is because we wanted to do something that was kind of a passion project that gives back. So with every event that we do, we give a portion of our profits to CMHA, which is Canadian Mental Health Association. So are you enjoying the business that we run?
Yeah, man, it's fun.
Yeah.
I feel like, with music, it's so powerful too, right? Like,
sure.
You need music for everything.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I enjoy it, man. It's a good time.
Yeah. I've done some events with you, obviously, at this point. We did the Parkinson's Walk. We did a few other events, one at the Ladies' Night Out at Mercedes.
Yeah.
And, you're very natural on the microphone. You do a good job. So I have total confidence in you. We're booking weddings. So, we're going to have a good summer, for sure. I don't know. The thing is, do you remember when you were first starting Final Rose, how that came to be?
I think I texted you one night and I was like, hey, man, I know you DJ'd.
Yeah.
Like, let's sit down and talk a little bit, because maybe we could put something together.
Sure.
I think it was just a text.
It was just a text. And the reason, do you remember how the name came to be? Because I don't know if I've ever told you this story.
No, you just texted me, you're like, it should be this. And I was like, that kind of sounds good.
Yeah, well, the reason, obviously, a lot of people think that we just use Final Rose Entertainment to carry on the whole fact that I was on The Bachelor USA briefly, right? So, and to get some longevity out of that. But that's not actually the case. I don't know if I ever told you this story.
No.
Well, my old roommate Dan that committed suicide.
Yeah.
Well, he and I had an ongoing joke, and before I'd go to bed, he'd always say, because obviously I didn't last very long in The Bachelor, he'd always yell up, "Don't worry, you'll always have my final rose." So, as a tribute to him and the fact that he kind of committed suicide, I wanted to name it Final Rose Entertainment for that purpose.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so that was the reason behind why, I know people think that it's just, and I don't care if people
for the
think,
show.
Sure.
Yeah.
And which I'm not denying the fact that obviously that's one thing, targeting weddings, targeting love, it kind of is, a bit of a gimmick, why not, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember, but one of the producers from the show actually, commented on the fact that we named it Final Rose Entertainment, right? And that kind of pissed me off a little bit because he didn't know. In all fairness, he didn't know the story behind it. So, anyway, I think that it's you're a great partner to have. You've got some really inspirational stories, and I thought it was important that everyone got to hear what you started at such a young age.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that it's important, sort of, within that first year of marriage, you've taken on so fucking much, man. Like,
it's crazy, yeah.
You've gotten married, you've got a kid on the way, baby girl on the way. How much school do you have left before?
Done in August.
And
that's full time. And then work.
And then work on top of that. So what's in the deck of cards? When do you apply for? Are you going to apply OPP? Or are you going to apply London? What are you thinking?
I don't know. My preference is in London, man. I grew up here. I know people here.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable here.
You'll basically be called back to the same spot you work now on a regular basis, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I mean, I think it's great, buddy.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want anyone else to know out there? I mean, what advice would you give to anyone that maybe wants to make a difference and wants to do one of these? I'm not saying they might want to break the Guinness Book of World Records, but if anybody wants to do something like going across Ontario, whether it's running, biking, or how would you recommend that they get started on that?
I mean, if you want to do something, man, you can pretty well do anything, if you set your mind to it. And it's probably a lot easier now to do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But, honestly, like, if you have a goal in mind, just do it. Like, I ultimately regret not making the school decision earlier.
So why didn't you make the school decision? Like, how old are you now?
27.
27. So are you finding it a bit difficult to do to go back to school at that age?
Yeah, but you learn more because I feel like you can bring that into like real life experiences, right?
That's a good point.
And you're older, you're a little bit more mature. You understand that you're kind of there. You're paying your own way. Mom and dad aren't paying.
Sure. Which is great because it's your own investment yourself.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, you're working, I have a daughter and a wife and stuff like that. So ultimately, obviously, I want to be able to, provide for them. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you have a little bit more of a greater appreciation in life in general at that point.
Yeah.
But it was tough going back. Man.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think I debated it for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And my brother told me, he's like, he called me, he said, what do you have to lose? Like, just ultimately, this is what you always say you want to go back to and pursue as policing, and do it, man. Like, you have nothing to lose, right?
Well, I think ultimately you probably would have regretted it if you hadn't. If this is something that's always been weighing on you, it's a good thing you did.
Yeah.
Whether or not you end up as a police officer, at least
Yeah.
There's no doubting anymore.
Yeah, in my entire life, there's some things that I didn't do growing up, and I was like, man, I should. And I feel like with life experience and maturity, like, you look back and you're like, if you get that opportunity again to do it again, you do it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, looking back, like, I would have done a bunch of things differently. But
why do you think that you didn't? Because for me, I know that it was my anxiety disorder that held me back, and trying to figure that whole thing out was something I had to step back from almost everything to get a handle on. So do you think that maybe you had some kind of like stress or anxiety, or even now, how do you cope with that? Like, what do you think it was that was holding you back?
I don't know what it was, really. I think
Fear?
it was just fear.
Yeah.
Like, fear of going. I hated school, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And I just kind of went to school because I had to go, and that was it.
Do you think you hated it because you were forced to take things that
That's
you...
exactly the reason.
Yeah.
Because you learn, like, in high school, you learn stuff that, you might not
Be
ever
interested in.
use again.
Sure.
So I feel like it was kind of fear of jumping back into it.
Yeah.
But like I said, being 27, you're a little bit more mature at the time. So now, I enjoy it a lot more, and I grasp it a lot more.
Do you feel like we kind of got ripped off in school when we were younger?
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like there was just, everyone says, oh, it's a tough world out there, but you need your education. I don't feel like that trained me for anything. I think I would have been much better off learning about, how to become self-aware, how to be more physically active, how important it was to be physically active, to eat healthy, all these things. How do you feel about that, Vinni Chase?
About living and, like, eating healthy and everything.
Fucking forget it.
Well, there's very little I can comment on, so I kind of tuned out.
Well, you were homeschooled.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing.
So what's the question?
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I feel like we're talking about maybe, Matt kind of didn't like school. He was conditioned because he was forced to take things that he wasn't interested in. So, homeschooling, how...
Well, I was only homeschooled up until